Was smoking all my dragons, divine, righteous, almighty, great, over, achieving, never slacking. What's up to all you beautiful people out there? When I say beautiful, I'm not just saying physically, I'm saying just your spirit, right? If you a kind person, if you somebody who thinks about other people, if you somebody who just walks around truly treating people how you want to be treated and just doing things based off of your heart, then you are a phenomenal person. You are a beautiful person to me. And nobody else could tell me different. But with that being said, we are back. Y'all know I always got to put some motivation out there. I love to uplift people, right? Uh, so this is Royal Navy Field Gun Competition from 1988. Now, when I look it up, it says the Royal Navy's Command Field Gun Competition was a contest between teams from three Royal Navy commands, in which teams of sailors compete to transport a field gun and its equipment over and through a series of obstacles in the shortest time. The competition evolved during the early years of the 20th century. The command format, negotiating walls and chasm, if I pronounced that correctly, was held annually at the Royal Tournament in London solely as a public display and as recruitment purposes from 1907 until 1999, apart from the periods during the World Wars. So that's a little bit of information on that. And this is obviously my first time watching this and reacting to this, which is interesting because I'm somebody who, I grew up doing a lot of competitive things. Um, yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see just how tough this is. So, with that being said, I'm not going to waste any more time. We're going to hop right into it. Here we go.
And now to the action that the audience has been waiting for. It's the annual Royal Navy Field Gun Competition between the Fleet Air Arm, Portsmouth and Devonport. Two teams in each performance. On the far side today, it's the team from Devonport. And close to the camera, it's the Fleet Air Arm. Maximum points they got in 1966, the greatest amount of points ever in this competition, 32. And Devonport had the best aggregate time. There's the course they're going to compete over with those massive field guns. 3 runs, the run out, the run back, and the run home. We'll go through those individually as they prepare themselves for the run out. Such is the competition that happens here at Earls Court every year that the...
See that look in that man's face? That's the look of, that's that zone before the zone that I've spoken about before, which is where it's this certain state, I can't even explain it, like before you compete, before you do anything, whether you're a musician and it's getting on stage, it's this zone you go in before you go into the zone. This is why when some people are like, when they're performing or they do something spectacular, there's a lot of people that when they're asked about it, they're like, honestly, I don't even remember, because they're in this zone, they're gone, right? It's like their body goes on, autopilot, and it's something else just take control. But there's a zone before you get to that zone, which I could tell that man is in. Look at him.
Such is the competition
that
adrenaline
adrenaline
every year that the results are immediately flashed to Royal Navy ships and stations around the world so that their progress can be followed. The fastest time ever done was Portsmouth, 2 minutes 40.6 back in 84, and they also got the least penalty points in 82. They got just 4 penalty points. Penalties are awarded to teams if they drop anything in that massive chasm. That is a 28-foot wide chasm over which they have to get the equipment.
So earlier I had said chasm. It's pronounced chasm. There we go.
Get the gun once they've dismantled it, and if they drop anything at all, then they get penalty points. Battery Commander, Lieutenant Commander Ken Mathers gives the signal for the start of the Royal Navy Field Gun Competition, and into the lead it is just Devonport, first man over the wall there. Only just though, but look at that gun being ripped apart on both sides, thrown over the wall. team's following over a 900-pound gun barrel sitting there on its gun carriage, putting the wheels on. First man.
Hold on. I gotta rewind a little bit. These guys are like the focus that it takes to do this. That's why you've seen a couple of the guys breathing like that, like they was controlling that adrenaline. They was getting ready like this. The way everybody playing their part. When you're doing something like this, first off, everybody has to play their part. You do not want to be the weakest link, especially the way us men think. The last thing we want to be is the weakest link. Where, men, we tend to have a lot of ego. That testosterone and mixed with the ego, like it tends to be, high intensity. So when you're in a competition like this, the last thing that any of those guys are thinking is being the weakest link. They just want to be the best. They just want to do the best. They want to do their part to the best. And I like how just everybody's just, they're all just, how can I say, it's just perfectly orchestrated, right?
Gives the signal for the start of the Royal Navy field gun competition, and into the lead. It is just Devonport, first man over the wall there. Only just though, but look at that gun being ripped apart on both sides, thrown over the wall. The team's following over a 900-pound gun barrel sitting there on its gun carriage, putting the wheels on. First man over the chasm, there we are, it's the Fleet Air Arm. Fleet Air Arm just in front of Devonport. First set of wheels about to go over. Wheels are over, so Fleet Air Arm by about a second and a half from Devonport.
This is honestly bananas. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Carrying those wheels like that cannot be easy. Woo! This is bananas. Carrying it over that rope like that.
Devonport.
Look at that.
Wheels about to go over.
Look at that.
Wheels are over, so Fleet Air Arm by about a second and a half from Devonport. The gun carriage goes over. Looking at the Fleet Air Arm as they get the gun barrel over and the last pair of wheels going over. There's the limber, and they're neck and neck. They're absolutely side by side with the limber going over as the teams now head towards the wall. Through the wall, assemble the gun and fire off the rounds to signify they've finished the run out. And it's very, very close, this. Fleet Air Arm in position. And it's just Devonport on that run. Devonport by about a second from the Fleet Air Arm. Now the judges will just make sure that the rounds have been fired. And the teams will prepare themselves for the next section, which is the run back. 1:26.23, that's the leading time for Devonport.
Listen, I'm sweating bullets and I'm not even there. But there also is no heat in this room. I need to get some type of air conditioning in this room. But it gives me the experience of, sweating. Because they're definitely sweating. Listen, this takes a different type of teamwork. You have to trust your team. You have to trust your people. Especially when they were on that rope. And it's like 3 people carrying those wheels. You got to trust each other. Have to.
1:27.31, that's the time for Fleet Air Arm, languishing in second place at the moment. The run back, they all have to withdraw over the wall, go back across the chasm, and at that point you've got to watch how they throw all the equipment around. When it's thrown over the wall, the combined weight of the gun barrel and its gun carriage together, 1,250 pounds. That is over half a ton of equipment, and it goes over in one piece. The bugle's ready. This gives the signal. Naval Airman Knocker Waite sounding the bugle for the start of the run back. Average time about a minute on this. First man going across the chasm as we look at the gun racing down. Fleet Air Arm on this side, Devonport on the far side. Fleet Air Arm about a second to make up to get the lead back here. And they've got their wheels across, but it's still pretty even Stevens.
They are neck and neck. Like, they are completely almost even. This is a good one. This is a really good race right here. I mean, neck and neck. These guys, it's like they're all racing. You know, what can I say? It's like the same people. You know what I'm saying? Like, they all have the same amount of hunger. They all have the same amount of. It's like they're such evenly matched right now. It's crazy.
The limber across, and here comes the heavy stuff. 1,250 pounds of barrel and gun carriage. There goes the barrel. They're going to be so careful with that because they're going to use it at the end. They're going to fire with it. The gun carriage across. And it looks to me like Fleet Air Arm are just pulling back here. They've just got their wheels across quicker. Flying Angels across. Fire the gun. And they have done it. They have done it. In fact, it's a dead heat on that run because they've remained about a second behind. Shells being checked by the judges as we also check the times because it seems to me they may have pulled back just a few tenths of a second.
Ooh.
Fastest time. There it is, 2:24.69. That's for Devonport, who still have the lead over Fleet Air Arm, who pulled up just slightly on 2:25.38. Less than a second in it as we get set for the run home.
I mean, you have to just be in phenomenal shape to do this. Mentally too. You have to have that unbreakable willpower because, man, you know what they're doing, there's nothing easy about it. And they look like they've done it their whole lives. That's how well orchestrated this is. I mean, when you see them it's like someone like me who looking for the first time and I've never seen this, it's like I'm looking like, dang, how are they doing this? The teamwork, the unity. I mean, you have to have that. You have to have that trust in your team. You have to believe in the person next to you as much as you believe in yourself. So that's also what makes this very impressive to see these men work together and just all kind of be on one accord. And man, like I said, it's not easy. It's not easy. I'm sure before this competition started, if you were to ask, hey, you guys gonna win it? No doubt in any of their minds. No doubt. Like, no doubt.
Off they go. Lift and launch, that's the cry. They're slow through the wall, the Fleet Air Arm. But they're just all through and they run and they run and they run to the finish line. Here they come down just.
Wow.
Fleet Air Arm just seemed to pull through there, but it's not enough.
Not enough.
It's not enough. Devonport win by a whisker. 0.3.
By a whisker, but when you see these guys right here, the determination when these guys are running, whew, the determined they got that mentality like ain't nothing gonna stop us. That's why I respect this so much. And if someone happens to see this video that happened to be in this race or in a race similar to this, definitely comment and let me know, what mentality did you have going into this? How was it? Drop a little, drop a little details about it, because I'm definitely interested. I think that's mind-blowing and amazing. Look at these guys. Look at them.
They run and they run and they run to the finish line. Here they come down just.
They're giving everything they got. Everything they got. No quit in them.
Through the wall of Fleet Air Arm. They're just all through and they run and they run and they run to the finish line. Here they come down just. Fleet Air Arm just seemed to pull through there, but it's not enough. It's not enough. Devonport win by a whisker. 0.32 of a second is the gap on the final times. 2:45.44, the winning time for Devonport.
Jeez.
A whisker.
Even at the
0.3.
Even at the end, I seen like looked like even an older man was
5.44, the winning time for Devonport.
Like right here, he seems like an older man. So it's like, is the age group? It must range. It must range. I wonder what the oldest person to compete in this would be, right? And also the youngest. That's very interesting. None of those guys should be ashamed. They all went, and I mean the effort. You see them all breathing heavy. The effort. That's all you could ever ask for is effort, right? And I didn't like whatever mistakes may have been made. People like me, I'm not going to be able to tell, right? Because that's how on point they were. They may be able to tell, but they're like moving. They're moving. They're speedy. They're in it. Crazy, crazy, crazy.
5.44, the winning time for Devonport.
Man, those guys are just, they are out of it. They are tired. They deserve that tiredness. You know, they earned that tiredness putting in that work. But really, these guys are champions, and I got nothing but respect for them. That was awesome. Whew. With that being said, that was Royal Navy Field Gun Competition, 1988. And those guys, them boys put in work. Those men, for sure. Salute.